Yo, what is up guys, it's Pedro here, and in today's video I'll be going over the rumors of Brandon Ayuk to the Washington Commanders, talk about if I think it's realistic and what it would take to reunite him with his former college quarterback in Jayden Daniels. Also, we'll be going over some of the best players available in day 2. If you guys are new, make sure to subscribe, hit that like button and that notification bell as well so you never miss a video. Alright, so the draft happened yesterday. The Commanders took Jayden Daniels. Not a big surprise, but there were some doubts, that maybe, Adam Peters kept things really close, and maybe it could have been Drake. Maybe, but it was Jayden Daniels. I'm happy about that. That's the guy I wanted pretty much since the beginning, so I'm happy they made that pick. And now it's all about day 2, and how are they going to make things easier for Jayden Daniels? Do they go the veteran route and trade for Brandon Ayuk or Deebo Samuel, who's been rumored to maybe he's going to get traded, which I think Deebo is a different story than Ayuk. I think Ayuk makes a lot more sense than Deebo does. Or do we, draft a receiver on day 2 or take a tackle because we didn't trade back into the first, which I was a little disappointed. I mean, once all the big names came off the board, like at the end of the first, it just, like the last few picks, there really wasn't anyone. But I think they could have moved up and into the teens, like 17, 18, and gotten one of those bigger name guys. It would have taken a lot, and maybe that just wasn't worth it to Adam Peters. And I'm gonna trust him. I'm gonna trust him on that for sure. And I think he's gonna be able to do good things with these picks. Maybe even trade for Ayuk. But right here, Brandon put this out. He said Ian Rappaport was discussing a potential landing spot for the 49ers, and Brandon Ayuk, a potential landing spot for Brandon Ayuk and the Commanders, who hold the 36th and the 40th overall pick, to trade and would reunite with the new Commanders, Jayden Daniels. So he basically said that the Commanders were a potential landing spot for Brandon Ayuk, and it does make sense because Jayden Daniels did play with him in college, and then also Adam Peters has that connection to Ayuk. So multiple connections, and it would probably be an easy trade, easy communication between Adam Peters and John Lynch. And, Adam Peters probably knows what or how Kyle Shanahan and, John Lynch value, Brandon Ayuk. So if he thinks that their value is too high, then he's just not going to make the trade. But he already knows that going in. So if he wants to do it, it'll be an easy trade for him to make. And, a lot of people are saying a first-round pick. That's kind of what the 49ers want. I would be willing, and I know some people wouldn't, but I would be willing to give up 36 or 40. If you think about it, we might be taking a receiver at 36 or 40, and that guy is not proven. So if you get a guy for 36 or 40, that is going to be, that is a stud. I think had 1,300 plus receiving yards this year. Like, that's elite numbers right there. You pair him with Terry McLaurin and reunite him with his college quarterback, already helping out your quarterback and making him happy, and making him feel wanted. And I think it's the way to do things. I think that would be a good thing to do. And if you draft a rookie, draft a guy at 36 that's a receiver, he might end up being a stud, but it's going to take probably a couple years. And also, you just don't know if he's going to be that stud. With Ayuk, he's going to at least be at 1,000, 1,100, 1,200 yard receiver. And you're going to have to pay him. That's probably the biggest con of it all, is that you're going to have to pay him, and you're going to have to pay him a lot of money. $20+ million a year, probably 25 million, 20. It's going to be a lot. It's going to be minimum 25, probably 26. I don't know. The cap keeps going up. The receivers keep getting paid a lot, but it's going to be a lot of money. And the Commanders have a lot of cap space, though. So if they can figure out how to structure it and get a reasonable deal with Ayuk, I think it would be a good move, and I think he would welcome a trade to Washington because, he's boys with Daniels. Jayden Daniels went live yesterday. I didn't watch it, but he went live on Insta, and Ayuk was on it or something, and, people are like, oh, it's not a big deal. They're former teammates. I mean, yeah, but, Jayden Daniels is former teammates with a lot of guys, so for him to be on live with just Ayuk, I think that is something. And then he had the eyeball emojis late last night. Don't know what that means, but it could mean a bunch of things. Could literally mean nothing. He's just excited to be in DC. But yeah, Brandon Ayuk to Washington would be a good move in my opinion, and I would be very happy with that move and give up 36 and maybe something else like future pick or something, and that's straight with me. And then use that other pick to take a tackle or a cornerback. There's still a lot of good players in this class or available. We're gonna go over some of them, and this is Field Yates' order. I don't have a specific order, but just going over all these guys. Adonai Mitchell. I think it's or A.D. Mitchell, Cooper, DeJean. I don't know how you pronounce his name, but he's a stud. He was supposed to be in the first round. Kool-Aid from Alabama. He's another stud. Would love him at 36. We don't need a linebacker. We don't need a linebacker. You got another cornerback, Ennis Rakestraw. You got D-tackle. We got Ladd McConkey. Could be a receiver we take. You got Keon Coleman, another receiver. And you got Marshawn Nealand, edge guy. You got some other receivers in Roman Wilson. And, I mean, those are the main guys, though. And then there's some tackles as well that the Commanders could go after. You got Kingsley Sumatia. And yeah, that's one of the tackles that they could go after. And there's this Roger guy as well. Maybe not at 36 or 40, but with one of their early third round picks, that could be an option as well. But I would say I would go best player available at position of need for the Commanders. So I think there's a lot of them. There's a lot of positions of need. And I would say tackle is a priority. You have to come out of day 2 with at least one tackle. And honestly, preferably one in the second round. You got to get a tackle. I think receiver is in the batch of need. It's not a need. Like, you don't need to add a receiver in the second round or even the third round, but it would be good. And if you can add Ayuk, that's great. So tackle, receiver. I think cornerback, again, is something that I think they should have probably added a veteran because they already have a bunch of young guys, but it's still a need. So you add corner into that. Edge is a possible need, bring in some new young guys. And if you're going to draft edge, you might as well do it in the second round because not a lot of good edge rushers are drafted in the 4th, 5th, 6th round, 7th round, even the 3rd round. They're usually first round guys, but that's another position. And, those are the main positions. Tight end is another one. Maybe they get Jatavion Sanders in the 3rd round. He would be a good option for me. And but that's not a necessity in day 2, and definitely not in the second round. If you want to go in the 3rd round and Jatavion Sanders is still there, I would love that. If not, you can draft another tight end or draft a tight end on day 3. I trust Adam Peters to find a good tight end for the Commanders on day 2 or day 3, whatever he wants. And you're not going to fill every need in the draft. And this is a rebuild. They have a lot of time they got time to figure this out. And I think it's really just about putting your rookie quarterback in the best position to succeed. And a lot of time, some guys are going to succeed no matter what. They're very few, but there's some quarterbacks that are going to succeed no matter what. I believe Joe Burrow is one of those guys. Almost any situation he went to, I think he would have been a stud. But then you got other guys that they need to be in a good situation. And if they're not, then maybe they wouldn't succeed. Patrick Mahomes might be one of those guys. He's a stud and he was always really talented, but it took a really good situation with one of the best coaches of all time in Andy Reid, sitting behind Alex Smith, and then, Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, some good running backs as well. I think Kareem Hunt was Kareem Hunt? I'm not sure, but they had a lot of really good pieces around him, and everything was perfect for him. So we don't have that, but if you can get the best pieces around him, so getting a tackle or getting a receiver, in the draft, or maybe Brandon Ayuk, former college teammate, it's really imperative that your rookie quarterback gets off to a good start in his first year. And doing that, adding someone like Ayuk would help, even if you're paying a little bit too much. I think it is I think the risk of that is worth it, and the investment you're making will be worth it as well. But yeah, that's it for today's video. Any updates, I'll give you guys later today if we trade up or anything like that. And then after that, I'm just going to be going crazy with the uploads. Any pick we make, I'll upload right away. And yeah, thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed, and peace.